the ninja.
Wonderful. Here we go.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just glad you got on here. Jeez.
I've had that issue before, honestly. I don't know what it is with Google or something. Their invites, it's weird.
Yeah, I guess that's why they're transforming. They're going from like Hangouts to something. Some meetup. Meetup, I think it is.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah. Thanks for agreeing to do this, man.
Yeah, no problem.
You are a very interesting dude.
I wish I could say it was intentional, but it just happened.
It just happened. So this is a really laid back thing, man. I just want to give TikTokers a chance and creators a chance to kind of expand their reach and talk about who they are and things of that nature. Just because, man. I mean, I think more and more people need to get their voice out there instead of everything being, from Hollywood and big media and this, that, and the third. We need more reality in our reality. Mm-hmm. No pun intended. So, real quick, bro, just introduce yourself, man. You can just say your first name, man. There's no need to go into great detail of where you are and all that other stuff. Just give everybody who I am and what I'm about.
Sure. My name is Nav. Rhymes with love. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm also a videographer, video editor. So I'm really big into film, video production. And I use all these platforms, all these different arts to, promote the message of unity, solidarity, breaking barriers, building bridges with one another.
Yeah.
And that's the basic gist of who I am.
So, tell us like where you're from and what your background is, like what you do like on like a daily thing, like type of thing.
Sure. So where I'm from, I guess I was born and raised in America in the U.S., but my family's from India. Cool. I'm also of the Sikh faith, S-I-K-H. It's about 500-year-old faith, but we're the fifth largest faith today.
Wow.
About almost 30 million people worldwide. It's pretty expansive.
Nice.
But so like I said, I'm a videographer and video editor, so I currently work for a company in their marketing department, helping to create content to promote their brand and their services. Nice.
How long have you been doing that?
It's almost a year. I just got this job last summer.
Nice.
It's a full-time job, 9 to 5, a nice cushy position.
Yay!
Prior to that, I was doing a lot of part-time and freelance work. So for the time being, it's nice to have some steady income and steady structure in my life.
Right. Yeah. Especially at a time like this. Yikes.
Yeah. I'm fortunate that I can work from home because I'm doing just video editing for stuff. But
nice. So what software do you use?
Adobe Premiere.
Yeah, man, that's the shit, right?
Yeah. I had to use iMovie in college for our first film class, and I was like, it was okay because I didn't know any better. Then once I actually use Adobe, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what is iMovie? It's just the worst.
Oh, man. Premiere Pro's awesome. I use that too, man. Do you mingle with After Effects at all?
A little. I need to get into it a lot more, but I definitely. I just since I've been freelancing mostly, I've never had a real use for it, so I didn't see the point in paying for it when I'm not using it enough.
Exactly.
Didn't have the money back then, so
Nice. Yeah. I want to dive more into After Effects, man. There's a crap load of YouTube videos on it and things of that nature. But anyway,
right.
See, that's why I like to talk to creators, man. We got things in common. I like that.
Oh yeah, I love talking to people about video production. It's a huge passion of mine. So anytime people just know what it is, even if it's just basic stuff, but I get to talk to them about, I get hyped.
Yeah, right. Oh man. So I'm really interested in, because I know you've done several TikTok videos. Actually, you've done like a couple of series on your religion. It's pronounced Sikh.
Sikh. So similar to like ill, but there's a bit of an emphasis on the KH.
Gotcha.
But the I sound is that I sound as opposed to Sikh.
Sikh.
A lot of people say it, and it's weird.
It's weird. Okay, Sikh. The Sikh religion. So I mean, we don't have a lot of time, so I know you can go into great detail about it, but give the listeners just like a basic foundation of what the Sikh religion is and what it represents.
Sure. So as I mentioned, actually, it's about 500-year-old religion. It was established in the 1500s in India. It's not a sect of Hinduism or Islam. It's its own faith. We believe in one divine creator who not only so this is a little bit of a differentiation from other faiths, is we believe that the creator exists within the creation along with all beings. So like we believe God exists within all of us, within all of life, and with all the universe, as opposed to somewhere up in the sky out of our reach. It's an interesting thing when I'm explaining it, doing my videos, where I realize as I'm like preparing my scripts and everything, that it's not a one-to-one translation when I talk about it, but I have to kind of, translate it in a way that people understand, because I only have a minute too, so I kind of have to skip a lot of the details and stuff like that.
Yeah, 60 seconds. 60 seconds is rough, man.
Yeah, 60 seconds. I make almost all my videos are about 60 seconds. I rarely have a short video. I wonder if that's good or bad, but I mean,
judge by your content, man. It's a good thing, man. You put out some great stuff.
Thank you. So so we a big principle of ours is we maintain our hair, so we don't cut, shave, trim, we're not supposed to. There are people who do, like any other faith, people follow it to their desire. But the purpose behind that is to maintain the image that we believe the creator has designed for us. So we were given hair, why remove it? If you cut hair, it grows back. And we have hair on certain parts of our body, but not others. Like my palms don't have any hair, but my arms, whatever. So we believe there's a purpose. There's also a belief that there's a spiritual connection through hair that I'm not as familiar with, but people have kind of created several reasons for why we maintain our hair. So if you see someone with a turban and a beard, more likely than not, it is a Sikh person. A lot of people mistake us for a Muslim, but we're two distinct faiths. We believe in the oneness of all beings, like I said. One of the major pillars of our faith is called selfless service, or seva. So we are always encouraged to help others as best as we can, whether that's with materialistic resources or moral support or whatever it is, whatever assistance we can provide in a really selfless manner, not with the intention of gaining anything for ourselves, just to better other people and our community as a whole.
Wow, true selflessness, man. That's nice. Nice. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's funny. There's similarities in what you're describing in other religions. There's always that connection, that human connection within other religions. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really interesting talking to other people of different faiths, and just even more research into my own faith and learning that even though some of the stories and the explanations are different, ultimately they come to the core ideas that are the same. And somehow just people stray away from those things.
So how are your videos received when you're talking about your religion on TikTok? You get a hodgepodge of things, or?
They're honestly 99.9999 positive. I rarely get some kind of negativity. I get people making stupid comments sometimes, and then I literally, this is what I do. I ask them a question. I go like, why did you feel the need to comment that? Really genuine about it, because I'm just curious. Like I posted a video about talking about my faith, and you felt the need to say whatever nonsensical thing. So I asked them why, and like 80% of the time they go, oh, it was just a joke. And I'm going, why are you making random jokes to a stranger? That's just, it's not like someone who would get it that you're joking.
Yeah. I come across that a lot too, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I see your videos, dude. They're great. I love your dialogue with people.
Hey, I just try to communicate, man. That's how we get to know each other, right? Whether it be with somebody who's being obtuse or not, But I'm like, dude, you can't judge, humor through a text,
right?
You know what I mean? It's like when you're doing your spoken word, man. it's different when you hear it in your headphones or whatnot. But when you see somebody on stage and they producing that energy and that vibe, and you get the tone and everything all at once, it's a completely different thing.
For sure. Yeah, I love performing over listening or making videos. I love being in front of the stage.
Yeah. I mean, do you perform locally or?
Yeah, so I perform I'm from New York. I won't go more specific than that, but I'm from New York, and so I do go to the city sometimes, and I perform at open mics and other events. I get featured gigs. But in 2016, I started traveling and performing. So I performed in several different states across the U.S. at different colleges.
Nice.
And yeah, I talk to the students. I engage with my audience. I let them ask questions, let them learn, let them get to know, give me the opportunity to learn as well, because I don't know everything. I'm not going to claim that. So
never.
So I'm always looking for opportunities to really have that connection, because from my own experiences, watching someone on stage perform is really cool for maybe 20 minutes. And then after a while, you kind of just get to, even if you love the song, it's just like, all right, I want something more. And I'm not a famous person either, right? So people aren't jumping out of their chairs for me. So I got to really pull them in. So I'm like, hey, you have questions. I can see it on your face. Just let me know. What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? What are my words triggering in your head that you want to understand more of?
Wow. Now, do you get like a repetitive question when you're on stage, or is this something that you hear quite a bit, or kind of like in the same monitor?
Yeah, sometimes I get, how did you get started? That's a somewhat common question. Things about my faith specifically. It's mostly those things. I haven't had enough performances to have had, 20,000 questions.
I love it.
I'm working on it. But it's a lot of, centered around my poetry and centered around the subject matter that I'm talking about, which a lot of it deals with race and my experiences as a person of color, born and raised in the United States. So things of that nature, like, have you ever experienced, or what were your experiences with discrimination, and those kinds of questions come up quite a bit.
By all means, what was your experience like with discrimination?
So I've been, fortunately, which is weird to say, someone pointed this out to me, that I say fortunately is kind of terrible, but fortunately I've only experienced minimal discrimination.
Good.
So what I mean by it's terrible that I have to say fortunately, because you have to kind of measure that. It's a weird thing. I've only experienced a little bit. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. No one should experience it.
No.
So I've had, in fifth grade was my first experience where it was I was 2002. I was in fifth grade, so it was a year after 9/11, and some kid said to me, "Why don't you take that bomb off your head?" Another classmate said that to me, 10 years old, and I'm just like, what is going on? I didn't process it back then, obviously. That was the first time, though, that I realized that this skin color really meant something to people. So that kid kind of tormented me throughout middle school and high school. And I've had, there was this one time I almost got into a fight in senior year. So I predicted this. I envisioned this scene. So these kids were bothering us at lunch. They're throwing stuff at our table. My friends are telling them to shut up and stop being annoying. And I'm just keeping to the side. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this, whatever. I'm eating. But in my head, I'm like, oh man, this kid really wants to piss us off. So the second I get up, he's going to say something. I had this thought in my head. And I got up, grabbed my bag because the bell rang, and he's like, yo, why don't you take that pillowcase off your head? And I was like, what is going? And I just got up in his face, and my friend's holding my arms back. I was just ready to throw a punch.
You was done.
Yeah, I was, but then I'm like, he's a freshman, I'm a senior, who's it going to be?
He's a freshman,
Yeah, it's just this, obnoxious, thinks he's
man.
Cooler than he really is freshman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he'll probably get in trouble, but it'll hurt me way more because I'm trying to get into college and everything. So,
exactly. Exactly.
And then, so the worst, or not worst, but the most interesting experience I had was I used to work at Best Buy. And customers come in, you greet them, you say, do you need help with anything? So one day this customer came in. I was like, hello, sir, you need help with anything? He goes, no, thank you. Super nice. So I go back to my register or whatever, and he goes to some televisions. And then a few minutes later, my coworker comes by, and he goes, hey, did you help that customer over there? I was like, yeah, he said he didn't need help. Why? He said, well, he does need help. He just didn't want help from you.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow. And he felt bold enough to tell you that. He was so comfortable with two white people engaging that he was like, hey, I'm going to share this. Yeah, like he thought my friend was going to be like, oh, yeah, okay, let's. Instead, my friend told him to get out of the building, which, much love to him. I appreciate that. And it was like a huge sale. It was like a $3,000 sale that he gave up. And I'm like, damn.
Wow.
And so it's always funny when people talk to me about, like, what oppression and stuff do I face? People in my videos see, like, I have a nice house and stuff like that. They're like, oh, someone literally commented, like, oh, you're wearing a gold chain. Like, that can't be a big deal. I was like, what does that mean? First of all, it's fake. I have no problem admitting it's fake. It's not real gold.
Right.
Second of all, I always say, this is my thing. Social and economic standing does not protect us from discrimination. And so, but that was a really eye-opening experience to realize just like how many people had said no to me really politely, but really.
Right. So now, you were rethinking everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It makes you question everything. And I mean, that's another aspect of going through this quote unquote systemic racism. It's the people that actually encounter it. It makes you question everything on a constant basis almost. You have to really ground yourself and trust yourself in knowing what's good and what's not.
For sure. I go to, and I'm curious if you've experienced similar, but I go to a restaurant and I see elderly folks staring at me. The second I walk in, I go anywhere. I've been walking down the street of New York City and I saw a mother pull her child closer to her as we're passing by. And I'm just thinking, what could I possibly been doing to make you feel that need? And it wasn't like a crowded street or anything, so there's no reason for it other than, like, I have to assume, but I also shouldn't assume, but you're in that situation.
Right.
If people don't want to sit next to me on the train, even though it's a packed train and I have an empty seat. Is that just because they didn't want to, or do they not want to sit to me because they're next to me because they're not comfortable?
Exactly. Do they have diarrhea or is it me?
Right.
Is there a stomach illness I need to know about? Or is it just that you're just a stereotypical person? I don't know. Yeah, it shouldn't be that way, man. But God almighty, it is. It is. So, I mean, gosh, I guess we could talk about that forever. I don't want so, Have you experienced anything recently since 2016? I should say.
Was it in 2016? I forgot when it happened. It was a couple of years ago. It might have been before 2016, but again, I was just walking down the street. A guy driving by decides to slow down, roll his window down, and say, "Go back to your effing country."
Stop.
And I'm thinking, why did you waste your time with that? Like, what did you feel you accomplished? Oh, yes, sir. I'm going to go pack right now. What did you think you accomplished?
Oh, let me hold it. Let me get my. Oh shit! He told me to leave. I gotta go.
Yeah, get off.
Gotta go.
I'm going to miss my flight. Apparently, like, what? It's wild how that happens. How people are just thinking, and it's clearly they don't expect us to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's a power thing. It's a impact us in that way, and it used to, and now I don't really care. Like, I get all these stupid comments on some of my videos. Oh my goodness. This one video I made, it was a poem critiquing America. You can guess how that one went. And it was like, go back to your country, or if you're so unhappy, then leave. And like
Trump 2020.
And these kinds of things are like, literally, I made a Instagram post of all the comments. I like captured all the derogatory comments because some of them were just awful.
Wow.
Like someone literally was just like, just go fly another plane into a building. I was like, why would you even promote that? Well, why would you even promote that though? Like, I can read them to you if you want to see the comments.
Yikes. Go for it, man. Go for it, man. This is exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Exclusive.
It was just, I was baffled. Okay, so here we go.
Hug your children.
having a bad day at the Quickie Mart again. That was
Wow,
one.
Quickie Mart. Wow. Okay.
We don't lime or want to here. Take the hint.
Jesus.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Disappointing. I waited the whole time just to see you detonate your vest, and it never happened.
Dang.
You know what,
Bruh.
though? I give him points for credit. I give him points for creativity. It's better than just...
I feel kind of bad laughing about that one, but that's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good. I got to admit.
Damn, bro.
You should leave go very. Yeah, see, okay, buddy. What next? Crashing a jet in a tower? What?
Why would you say that?
Right.
Well, I mean, social media makes people brave. Wow.
Yeah, it's you can go back where you come from, pigs.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And folks, he's reading this from his phone. I'm watching him reading this from his phone right now. Dude.
But there's something for me now. It's hilarious when it's to me.
Yeah.
I can handle it. It's not even like built up a toughness. I just don't see the point in getting bothered by it. It's like,
right.
If that's all you have to say, there's no point in like trying to converse with you. Like I make every effort to converse with people on that post.
That's true.
The poem that all these comments were on.
Uh-huh.
I've had like threads of comments with another person going back and forth. And usually we hit a point where they go, okay, I get what you're saying. And you know what? At the moment, I'm just looking for that, right? I can't expect too much from a stranger. Like we don't know each other. We don't have the time to sit down and talk. I'm sure it'll be different then. But with a stranger on the internet, if I can just get them to say, stop and think, okay, I see what you're saying. I don't agree, but I see what you're saying. From that hate, if I can take them down from that, and I'm like, you know what? There is hope still.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And that's also resolve, ladies and gentlemen. You would you say your religion and your connection with that helps you deal with that conversation in a manner that brings everybody down to some type of cohesiveness or agreement?
Oh, 100%. Because there are times where I read those comments and I'm fuming. I'm just like on fire and I want to just, clap back at them. Be like, well, you're an idiot and you don't know anything and whatever. And then I think, what is that really going to accomplish? Like, who am I helping here? My own ego? That's really it.
Right.
And in my faith, resisting things like ego and pride and this deep emotional attachment to things are really encouraged. And again, we believe in the oneness of all beings. So even if we really have just opposing views on the greatest spectrum, I find it important to at least give them an opportunity to express themselves because maybe they responded really rash. And then when I respond, usually I ask a question. And when I respond with a question, they get taken aback. They go, I thought he was going to hit me with his facts and whatever. And I'm like, no. Why do you feel this way? Why? Like people will be like, oh, if you don't like it, leave. I go, do you have nothing? There's nothing in the country that you would change? Like, is that how this works? Like, you have to have something, right? The reason we vote, the reason we encourage all these things is because we want improvement or we want people to continue to grow. No one thinks the country is perfect, but just by the fact that you vote. If you vote, you don't think the country is perfect. That's just a fact.
That's a fact, folks. Great point.
So what's the difference between me verbally expressing and you going to the ballot box? There is none. You just don't like what I'm saying, which is fine. You're free to disagree, but let's work it out. Let's see what we can understand about one another. So
well said.
It's taken a lot of tolerance and patience on my own end and like my own mind to just be like, okay, let's approach this in a manner that I can actually maybe find some sort of common ground with them.
And it works. It works.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes, look, people don't want to, and hey, can't change anybody, but some people you can find some kind of connection with.
Yeah, that connection is important. Absolutely. Well said, man.
Ninja warriors, the powers they hold are legendary.